What's going on, guys? So here are the things that you should receive with your 7-speed mirrors. So first of all, you have the 2 mirrors with the stalks like that. Let's see if I can fit it here. You should have 2 metal mounting brackets like this, and then with it you should have 4 mounting bolts for these little holes right here. So these will go there. I'm just going to put it in now to keep them secure. You should also have these wing thingamajigs. I don't know what they're called, but you choose the color that you wanted for this. I chose the silver or gray one, so it's a bit low profile. You should also have a set of mounting bolts and clamps with some washers. So they have some crush washers. They're all the same size, so you should be able to figure out which ones go together. You can see mine's been used, so they're a little bit rusted. These will go to mount these face clamps here. And you should also receive 4 different lengths of these bolts. There are 5mm Allen keys or hex keys. You can see the difference in length if I put them together, and I'll show you which ones go where once we get started on the bike. The tools we need today is a 5mm Allen key and a 10mm wrench. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to mount the mirrors onto the colored face plates here. So you can see it's very easy to do because it matches the shape of the mirrors and the mount. What you're going to do is you're going to get the nuts and bolts with the crush washer. So undo that, make sure you don't lose any of these. I'm sure they didn't come with spares. So you match the shape of the plate. You want to put the crush washer in first, and then you put the bolt through. Yeah, so you put the bolt through there. Same thing on the other one. Put the washer in, put the bolt through. Then we're going to flip it. Make sure to keep these bolts in place. You can see where the washer bites in. I think this is a locking nut. That's what they call it. So it bites into the faceplate. So what you want to do is let's just do that by hand. So now they're together. We'll leave the final tightness to once we mount it on the bike itself. Then you want to do the same thing on the other mirror. Grab the face mount, put the washer in, put the bolt in. Same thing on the other side. Put the washer in, put the bolt in, flip it. Well, I'm really only flipping it to show you guys. You don't need to flip it. You just need to make sure that you can put the bolt underneath and do it by hand. Before you tighten everything up, you want to just line it up so everything's in line, nothing's poking out anywhere. Right, so I'm just going to show you guys how you're going to find out if it's the wrong mounting bracket that you have for a particular side. So we're going to fit this one here on the top position. You can also fit it on the bottom position like this. You see that it's how it's almost touching this plastic bit here, and it's quite close to it over here. So depending on which position you want, that's the correct one. If I grab the bracket that's meant for the other side, you can see how the bracket is a bit far from the plastic, and if you go here, it's positioned way too high, and the angles are all wrong for this bracket. So you want the bracket that's facing down parallel to the angle of the plastics here, like that. And if I get the mirror, so the mirror here, it should be mounted onto where these bolts will be. It'll be mounted like that, and then you can see that the mirror is facing the right direction. If I get the other mirror, it's going to be all wrong here. So even if I flip it, it's going to be facing the wrong side like that. So now that we found the correct bracket for the correct mirror, we're just going to connect them together. So simply grab the bolt, put it through. So they're connected like that. Everything's not really that tight yet, so we can do some final adjustments. Everything's mostly hand tight, and we'll do the same thing for the other bracket. Okay, so now that they're assembled together, both of these are loosely fitted. Let's see if we can put them on the bike now. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to choose how high your screen to be. I like mine on the high setting, but you can also opt for the lower setting here. Both instructions will work for each one, but we're going to stick to my higher setting like this. When you undo the windscreen from stock, there's this faceplate here. It's just a plastic bolt here that you simply undo. So you slide it up to take it off, and then undo these 4 bolts here, which is again a 5mm hex key. And then once you take those off, you can take the windscreen off. So to put it back, sometimes there might be a washer here. I think there are. I'm not sure where I found these washers, but what I've done here is I've put it inside here just to help these brackets sit better into these spots. What we're going to do is we're going to grab one bracket here. You can see it's a little bit tight in terms of fitting. What you might find is that this bolt is touching the plastic. Mine actually put a dent in the plastic here just because it's quite a tight fit. So you want to be wary of that. If you don't want any sort of dents on your plastic, I'd recommend the lower position because it has a better clearance there. So we put the mounting bracket onto the bike first, and then the windscreen on top. So you want to make sure that everything's lined up there. The longer bolt goes on the top here, and then the shorter bolt goes on the bottom here. I'm just going to grab the other mirror. Make sure that everything's lined up. Make sure everything's locked into place. So we put the longer bolt on the top, put the shorter bolt on the bottom. So you can grab your Allen key. You might want to push it up a bit so that the bolt starts to bite the thread inside the fairing. Before you tighten everything up, just make sure that everything is biting the thread, and you don't want to over tighten anything just yet. Okay, so now you have a rough fix of that. What I would do is start to make sure that the tightest mounts are on the mirrors itself. So once you start turning it, those lock nut washers are going to bite into the faceplate like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so these are pretty tight, quite tight. Don't tighten them too much, otherwise you might strip the bolt or break something. So now that these are up, make sure that these mounting brackets are tight and secure. And just do like a quarter turn each side to make sure that the 4 bolts are evenly tight. Once you feel any sort of resistance, just do a little bit more, but don't force it. Then you know it's already tight enough. So here got a bit of resistance, just a little bit more twist, and then I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. And then what you want to do is just to test that it's secure, make sure nothing moves, then that should be it. Then you just want to fit the face plate here, start at the top, bring it down, then you're good to go. So the final product should just look something like this. Make sure that everything's secure, nothing's moving. These are not really anything, but I think they just make it look cleaner. So yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys, especially for those who requested this video. If it did, I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe, and also share for those who might be thinking of doing the same thing to their Xmax 300. Until then, see you guys in the next video. Ride safe. Peace.